With my new atom discombobulator, I can dissolve all of Grantham City Museum's security systems, and the fabled jewel of the Star of Khartoum will be mine. All mine!
Not so fast, Pelican.
Curses! Bazman and the boy Blunder.
I'm 50.
What?
I'm 50, I'm not a boy. Although I do look rather youthful in these tights.
Yeah, whatever. When I press this button, the Star of Khartoum will be mine, and nothing in the world can stop me now.
Quickly, old chum. The anti-large migratory waterfowl spray.
Wah! My gizzard!
And now, the buzz cuffs.
You've been caged, bird brain.
Hey, nice wordplay, Rupin.
Wasn't my best.
Portable bass phone. That'll be Commissioner Hartnell. Hello, Commissioner. Yes, we have him right here. He wants to speak to you.
Me? What can that pompous windbag have to say to me?
So what you need is a jolly good smack bottom.
Wah!
Hello, listener and listener's friend. Welcome to Time Ram, the podcast. It's a podcast, that's what it is, where we ram a doctor with a story from two completely different and conflicting eras, and it couldn't get more conflicting than tonight's. With me, as ever, are Mr. Barry Williams.
Good evening.
And Mr. Paul Ferry.
Hello.
Have you noticed we always kind of say Mr.? It's very formal, isn't it? I mean,
It's very
I know,
we
yeah.
do that.
30 odd
Yeah.
years.
I don't know why particularly, but
Yeah.
we do.
You know,
Yeah.
and let's face it, none of us are particularly grown up. So yeah.
Like Eton.
How are you both, Baz and Paul?
I'm alright, yeah.
Yeah, where we to go?
I still got cold. I've had cold for over a week now.
I'm starting to get a cold, I think.
What is it with colds now? You used to get a cold and it was gone in like 2 days, and like post-COVID, colds are just like big hard bastards now that can hang around for
It's
weeks.
because we're all immunocompromised from COVID.
Yeah, we're in the realm of the sick. They say there's lots of diseases that kind of come out of nowhere because no one saw it in for 2 years, so that nobody's got any immunity. So it's just we're being hit by strep A, COVID, flu.
Keep it light.
Yeah,
Life in the 21st century.
21st century's fuck.
It's mint, isn't it? Yeah. But at least we can do podcasts.
Yeah,
We couldn't do them in the 90s.
that'll help with the
Yay.
cost of living crisis.
No.
You know, we could actually go out to pubs without dying in the 1990s. Sure, we could hold parties without worrying in the 1990s. Absolutely. But we couldn't do podcasts. So that makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
Yes.
Anyway, tonight we have a humdinger.
Yes.
Because we've got the Peter Capaldi Christmas special, The Return of Doctor Mysterio, starring William Hartnell.
Yay.
This is interesting.
Which is going to be remarkable. I don't think there are any major kind of continuity. This isn't A Good Man Goes to War.
No.
But in terms of what actually happens in the story, effects and such like, it's going to be an interesting one for them to realise.
Yeah.
Kind of going to make the Web Planet look like, an unambitious thing set in a cupboard with a moth.
I think we previously realised that this is kind of the era of the Adam West Batman series, or nearly. Sort of, it wasn't.
I did a bit of research. Yeah, I did a bit of research, and the first episode of Batman was shown in the UK on the same day as the final part of the Gunfighters.
Were they against each other?
So
I don't know. I'm guessing there possibly were.
Have been,
Yeah.
yeah.
I should have gone on the BBC Genome and had a look,
Indeed.
but I didn't. So maybe one of our readers can and tell us, do our job for us, reader.
We don't have readers. This is a podcast.
Yes.
So at this point, the production team haven't got many Hartnell stories left. I mean, they're probably already working on like the Savages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be able to squeeze this in around
Under
the
its
smugglers,
previous, more
or-
racist title.
Yeah.
Or possibly the War Machines. We might be able to do that.
The War Machines.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I think, to me, it
Yeah.
fits with the War Machines quite nicely
Hmm,
because it's contemporary Earth type thing.
hmm.
Yeah.
That does mean
And
we're introducing
Dodo
Ben and
deserves.
It
Yeah.
does rather, yeah.
Dodo deserves a better
Polly. Dodo does deserve better.
farewell.
Yeah.
Justice for
Yeah.
Dodo.
Just
Well, we've
better.
kind
really.
of got three companions in it, haven't we? We've got, Nardole in the kind of Dodo role. Dodo
Yeah.
Nardole.
Dodo roll.
No,
And then
Dodo
we've got
does.
this new young couple coming in, Grant and Lucy,
Yeah.
or Ben and Polly, maybe.
That works quite nicely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. We do have to have some reason why she hasn't got a baby at the end of it, or hasn't got a baby at all.
Well,
Yeah.
hang on.
And he
but-
hasn't
but-
got superpowers.
but she's having a baby and a good man goes to war in our version, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, this fits.
Well, no. Hmm.
I mean,
Possibly
all
not,
right.
because he's a nanny. She doesn't really need a nanny before she's had the baby. So.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
It's time ram. You've got
He's a midwife.
ideas, man. Go with the flow. Go where the ram takes
We
you.
might have to make some substantial changes, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if he's doing Batman, he hasn't got superpowers, so that's something working on our side.
No, he's just got.
Huh.
It's just Ben's a millionaire,
So that destroys the story then.
somewhat.
We'll just have to find
Just
a
have to have some reason why he.
At the
Yeah.
very end of it, the Doctor will use a special ring, like in the Dalek Master
Yeah.
Plan. He'll refract the sun through it, and then he'll fumble why it's worked, and Ben hasn't got superpowers anymore. He's healed.
Yes.
But I'm telling you,
That's why he's so angry for the rest of his run.
he didn't want
Because
to
he
get
had
rid of
these
superpowers, but the
superpowers,
Doctor's not
yeah.
having it. It's going to no one's better than me in this.
I'm just picturing the Doctor refracting sunlight through his special ring now. It's kind of
Wearing a cape, don't forget.
it's an arresting image. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet William Hartnell could.
Probably could. Yeah, he could do it in his sleep.
Yeah.
That's why his arse was in butter.
So Batman would have been shown. I don't know how in the public consciousness it was. I mean, the Avengers were doing a Batman spoof by 68. weren't they, with the
Maybe
Winged
a
Avenger.
script drops out at the last minute, and Donald Tosh just has a brainstorm.
Donald
Yeah.
Tosh has been
He's been watching Batman.
he's been off in America with the BBC on a buying spree when they're acquiring series.
Yeah.
Except they didn't buy it obviously because ITV did. Otherwise, it couldn't be opposite the Gunfighters unless it was perversely on
Yeah.
BBC Two.
Actually, it's not even Donald Tosh at this point, is it? It's be Jerry Davis. Jerry Davis.
Jim Davison.
Jerry Davis, not
Jerry
Jim.
Davis. Right, yeah, that's better. Good.
Mhm.
Good. Oh, Jim Davison and Hartnell might have gone on. But yeah,
They probably would have.
what a very depressing thought.
Yes.
So let's crack on with this. Mr. Williams, will you take us through the story, please?
Okay, yes. So the
Yeah.
show opens with
He's very good, isn't he? Very clean.
Very clean.
I think it's a caption. It says that night or something. I can't remember now. But it starts with kind of comic panels, and then
Yeah.
it kind of segues into the city.
Mhm.
It's an extremely convincing New York street,
Hmm.
which I found they actually filmed in a studio in Bulgaria.
Ah.
Has these
Ah.
New York streets built up as a permanent set.
So in the Hartnell era, that's going to be like a photograph and some music going.
That's-
Diddly-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it's. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit more restricted.
Well, are we replacing the War Machines? Have we decided on that?
I would go with that. Yeah,
Because then we haven't
Yeah.
actually got a composer at
Yeah.
all. We've just got lots of radiophonic noises.
yeah. I mean, it's probably
And the occasional sort of
probably not the
thing.
type of opening they would do in 1966, is it? They would start with the TARDIS landing,
Probably, yeah.
probably on a rooftop somewhere in old New York.
Just get some stuff from DeWolf.
DeWolf. Good old DeWolf. I wonder if they're related to
Yeah.
Francis DeWolf. No, he's not DeWolf, is he? He's just Francis. Oh, I can't remember. It doesn't matter anyway. Carry on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the original version, at least, we kind of go through somebody's window and we end up looking at a baby monitor and a chap in glasses.
I really hope
American
this
chap.
wasn't directed by Richard Martin. Otherwise, we're just fucked.
Bit late for Richard Martin. No, Who directed the War Machines? I'm not sure.
Michael Ferguson.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
So, in that very naughtiest way, we do a flashback to his childhood, where he first met the Doctor, or at least the Doctor is dangling outside his window.
So are we keeping this? I don't
think this is
very
It's
Hartnell.
William Hartnell dangling outside a window.
Yeah,
You can't get rid of that. That's brilliant. I love it.
it is great.
Yeah, you can't imagine it happening.
I don't think he'd be upside down. I think he'd be kind of the right way up on a kind of rope or a ladder or something, going, whoa.
Well, he might be upside down to begin with, but it'd be Edmund Warwick at that point.
Yes.
I just go on. Let's have it.
Yeah. Why not?
So anyway,
I mean, if it was Troughton, you could totally imagine it.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. You know, going back and forth like that and clowning about. Hartnell, maybe less so.
His half wig would fall off, wouldn't it?
It might, yeah.
The little boy is called Grant. Lets him in. He thinks he's Santa Claus, or no, he manages to somehow convinced that his mother is that he's Santa Claus. And then
it's Ben. Then
it's be Ben. Yeah,
it's Ben, little Ben,
little Ben,
little Ben, gentle Ben.
Hello, little Ben.
They go up to the roof where the Doctor's got a device, and there's a kind of bit of wordplay here. But the Doctor gives him a gemstone to look after, and because this little boy suffers from colds and things, and he accidentally swallows it, or at least he swallows it, believing that it's medicine. Yeah, and now he's got superpowers.
Yeah,
and that I think possibly might be an entire first episode to get that into the 60s.
Yes. It's there's not much to it for a first episode.
Yes, we're going to be starting with Hartnell, aren't we? And then we kind of work out how he's there, why he's there, and what he's doing.
I suppose. Yeah. Is it
Mm.
randomly a flashback? Has he got Susan with him? And everyone's going, what the hell's going on?
I don't think they did flashbacks in those days, did they? Or not?
No, but we're going to. If we're going to have them dangling from a window, might as well have a flashback. Stylish. It's a very Batman thing to do as well.
It's very Batman.
Is the gemstone actually the stone from his ring, perhaps? That he's.
Oh well, let's not go near Hartnell's ring. It's being swallowed by a child.
Too late.
That could be why he needs it back at the end.
Right. He gets his
callously
back.
depriving Ben of his magic powers, superpowers.
It's like Propilius. He's really, he's on Propilius going, I want my fucking ring back, right? Or I'll knack you.
So he takes this gemstone, which has been all the way through this boy's gut, and then just pops it back in his ring, and he's good to go.
Yeah.
William Hartnell. Of course he does that. And?
He's had worse in his ring. We really can't broadcast that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, please be quiet.
So the Doctor turns up in the present day. Is he explaining to Dodo this is what's happened in the past? Or how
here we go with the eternal problem. All right, how the hell's he steered the TARDIS to get there?
Yeah. Well, he's
so the opening scene's got to be him coming out and going, aha, what fortuitous luck.
Yes.
I can get my ring back.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, that's good. That's fine. That's acceptable. It's acceptable.
The ring that he's had on his finger for the last 2 years.
That was just a kind of.
That was a standard ring.
Fake one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually the monk's ring.
That was Edmund Warwick's ring.
That was Edmund Warwick's ring. Yeah. Something I never thought I'd find myself discussing ever. Yeah, here I am.
The Doctor's got Edmund Warwick's ring on his
Edmund
finger.
Warwick's ring. And we have a title, gentlemen. Well, all right. Maybe has he got 2 rings? Was it Susan's ring? That's why she hasn't got one. You see.
Yeah.
Has Susan got a ring? She has not.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If she'd been wearing a ring, she could have given her hers.
Indeed.
Or whatever it is he says.
No, I think that's spot on what he says, yeah.
Check the fornicator.
So Susan somehow loses her ring into Little Ben.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is episode 1.
Yeah. Okay.
This one's wiped. Everyone's love to see this. Let's hope the ring's wiped afterwards as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Doctor goes, did I ever tell you about the time I fancied of my granddaughter, Susan? And then we're going to go into the backstory.
Or what we could do, we could start episode 1 in the TARDIS, and he wheels the time space visualizer out and goes to Dodo completely randomly. Have a look at this. Just going,
Yes.
What fucking relevance is this to anything? What accent am I doing this week anyway? Who am I, Doctor? We just go, shut up, and switches it on. And we
Right.
get an entire episode. And at the end of the episode, we come back to the TARDIS, and Dodo's going, "What the shit, man? What is this about?" This is why I would hang out with Steven. Now Steven's gone. I got to listen to this bullshit from you.
Well, I guess that's the best we got. Yeah.
Always to that effect, paraphrasing.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
I think for some reason he's got the ring in his handkerchief. He's polishing. He's always polishing things with his handkerchief, isn't he?
Not polishing his
And,
handkerchief. You can't polish a handkerchief.
No,
Who
he's always
says, man?
polishing things.
He's polishing his
always
ring.
polishing something with his handkerchief.
Always polishing his ring.
Oh, I see. Right, I missed
Yeah.
ring polishing.
And
Maybe
he
I've
sort
lagged
of
this.
gives the kid his handkerchief because he's ill, and somehow he manages to swallow the ring.
Right.
It's coughing into the handkerchief or some.
Yeah, it is mysterious as to how a ring gets from a finger into a child. Is young Ben really Cockney? I bet he is. Maybe he
Yeah.
thinks it. He's really Cockney and a stereotype because it's
Oh, yeah.
1966. I'll half inch that.
I better
No,
swallow
Cockney's-
it so
he's
he
Cockney
don't
Ben.
find it.
Yeah, you'll never. Oh no, he's coming back. There you
Yeah.
go. It's a criminal act, so
Yeah, he puts it in his mouth to hide it, and Hartnell does a comedy slap on the back. Oop, and he swallows it.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Susan goes, "Oh, grandfather,
Yeah.
now you've lost me ring."
you and your rings.
One day I shall come back.
I just think it's not going to be New York, though, is it? Because Cockney Ben, he's not going to be growing up in New York. It's kind of,
Nah, he's in London.
it's got to be in the East End
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
It's going to be, yeah. Also, there's no way they're going to film in New York.
No, that's
No.
very
When the
true.
script saying New York
Or
comes in,
Bulgaria,
Joe
yeah.
Davis is straight away scribbling it out and going London.
They're both equally
Within
out.
5
yeah.
miles of Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah.
That's where this is set in 1966.
He'll be climbing the post office tower. That's as far as he's going to get.
Oh, the
Yeah.
post office tower, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll still keep that in, absolutely. That's the thing, isn't it? So Ben can fly,
Yay.
and the Doctor and Dodo turn up in 1966, around the time of the opening of the post office tower,
Yeah.
which was a happy
Yeah.
coincidence for the Doctor,
Yeah.
because now he can get his ring back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for some reason Ben needs to be of a certain age before he'll be able to pass the ring,
Yeah.
for reasons.
Well, I mean, to be fair, in the original episode, it's for reasons it's absorbed it into his body somehow, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly how
Reasons.
isn't exactly.
Hartnell will go, "It's time and relativity, my dear child. Now please stop asking me." And that's it.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's dealt with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That was timey-wimey, like kind of
Yeah.
several decades before, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're no better these days, are they? That's absolutely true.
No.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, we come to the present day. Ben's a nanny.
Ben's
Yeah.
a nanny. Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to lose almost everything of the baby. Really, it's gonna just have to be Ben's her flatmate or something. Ben's a lodger.
Ben's a
You
lodger.
He's
He's on his
got
way
some
to the
reason
Navy,
to be
but
there.
He's
Yeah.
or he's just back from a posting and he's
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
in
lodging
the
there.
kids
He
or something.
secretly lusts after her, but
Yeah.
is too shy.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't really work with Ben, but maybe
It
he is
doesn't work with
shy
Ben.
at this point. He
And-
just
and
kind
also
of,
he's- Also, he's superpowered, Ben.
Maybe
Yeah.
she's his landlady. Maybe she owns the flat. And
Oh,
it's
it's
kind of-
Irene Handel.
Yeah. But it's Polly. It's Polly. Polly's his landlady.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can Polly be played by Irene Handel? All right, fair enough.
I'm just thinking in the 60s, they're not actually going to be living in the same flat. She's going to be
They're
upstairs.
not. No,
No,
that
it's
would be
gonna-
improper.
Yeah. That'd be,
Maybe she starts
the
out
Doctor
as
Who.
Irene Handel, and at some point towards the end, he thinks, I can use my superpowers, and kind of turns her into this kind of blonde dolly bird.
This is getting perverse. I mean, I thought the ring was as
This
bad as
took
it
a
was going to
strange
go,
turn,
but no,
yeah.
I was wrong. I was
I wasn't
not.
quite ready for that. Yeah.
So,
But
right.
she still talks like Irene Handel.
We'll have Irene Handel in it at some point anyway.
Yeah.
We should
why
do.
not?
Yeah.
Well, maybe Ben is lodging and Polly is Irene Handel's daughter or granddaughter or
Yeah,
something. who just
yeah,
lives
that
there.
makes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
So
Okay.
so she's around to kind of discourage any activities.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
With a broomstick or something.
Yeah.
Keep them apart. Yeah.
Which Ben then just incinerates with his special eyes, presumably. But he's moral. He's moral. He's nice.
Yeah. Nice.
I think Irene Handel should. She like fancies Hartnell when he's in.
I think it'd be great. Yeah, they'll have a thing.
Oh,
going.
hello, Mr. Doctor.
Yeah.
Have a cup of tea.
And Hartnell goes, "Oh, wait a minute! I know about Asian women making
Have some
drinks.
cocoa,
I remember this from the Aztecs, mate." You can
We might
back
be
off.
getting ahead of ourselves there because
Yes.
I think probably it's
Yes,
more
yeah.
likely that the Doctors landed at Harmony Shoal, perhaps in the post office tower, perhaps somewhere else.
Yeah, that's going to be in the post office tower, isn't it?
That would be a reality show these days, wouldn't it?
That'd be what?
The reality show. Harmony Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harmony Shoal was a company in the thing where they say they're a company, they're actually aliens.
Yeah.
And again, quite a modern thing, really. They're having a big old press conference.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose they could
They're
do that
based in the post office
60s.
tower.
They'd be based in the post office tower. They'd have little reporters in sort of trilby hats and with little bits of paper stuck in them. Those kind of reports, shouting out questions at this guy on this podium.
Flashbulbs going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Brock, he's saying how great this company is. I'm not quite sure what they mean to do, but he's sort of telling how great they are. And in the audience is Polly.
Mm-hmm.
Dodo. It'll be Dodo, though, wouldn't it?
Dodo's there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Doctor and Dodo come in the back.
Oh, yes. I see. Yeah, I see where you're going from. Yeah.
Yeah. But is Polly a reporter? I guess she'll have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, that's better than being a secretary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Step up, isn't it? Yeah.
Excellent. That's very swinging.
Yeah.
Hartnell won't like it.
No. You won't like it.
So Polly's asking sort of pertinent, probing questions of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to know where he gets his money from. And at the back, Dodo wants to get little girls with him.
Mm-hmm.
And the Doctor, presumably being Hartnell, is kind of striding in imperiously and going, "I say so."
Yeah. And everyone, like in the War Machines, is kind of going, "Oh, Doctor." Like, what? What?
Oh, the Doctor's turned up. Hey.
Yeah, forget Sylvester McCoy being the pre-planning, mysterious Doctor like that. It's Hartnell.
Yeah.
The Doctor's suspicious of this. So I suppose he wants to go and find Ben, but he wants to find out what's going on here. There's a mystery. Yeah. He's got to pursue the mystery.
Yeah.
So he hangs around. He hangs around tonight. Maybe he tells. Is he telling Dodo to do something in the meantime? Maybe he tells her to
go off to the Inferno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or leave the story at this point, like in the War Machine. You are done. You are dismissed. Go. It's like a Chibnall ending, really, isn't it, for a character? Right, you're finished with some story terms. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, Dodo left, Doctor. Oh, did she? Oh, okay. All right.
Oh well. Bollocks. Yeah. I've got a mystery. I really need to get my ring back.
Maybe she sends her after the ring. He says, "Look, go and visit this young gentleman. See if he passed a ring recently."
And Dodo, who's just completely brainfucked by the whole visualizer bit from episode 1, is going, "Look, I'm getting out of this relationship. This is toxic. This is toxic."
Anyway, I'm kind of
that's giving her agency.
Yeah. I'm trying to find some extra things for them to do if we're going to turn this into 4 episodes.
Hello, fellow time travelers, and welcome to the Doctor Who Target Book Club podcast, the only podcast to discuss, in story order, all the Doctor Who novelizations. My name is Tony Whitt, and every 2 weeks or so, I'm joined by a 2 to 3 person discussion panel, including our so-called expert who's been a Who fan since 1979. That would be me. We also get the views of intermediate, casual, and novice fans who either have never seen the show or who have never read these books until these podcasts, including
Dalton Hughes
and
Alison Fitz-Seyfried.
You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you find good podcasts, or even ones like ours. You're listening to the Time Ram podcast. Enjoy and keep time ramming.
Okay, so cutting to the chase here. We kind of
different story.
They hang around till night time. So Mr. Brock's got this extraordinarily sinister buddy called Dr. Sim, played by Alexander Jovanovic.
Yeah. So who's playing these guys? Who's playing Brock?
Yeah. Who's playing Brock? Yeah.
George Pastel. I'm just thinking sinister foreigner, basically.
Yeah.
In the 1960s sense.
In the 1960s, they would translate that.
Vaguely racist 1960s sense.
Yeah.
And then his even more sinister buddy, Dr. Sim.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasence.
Pastel and Pleasance.
Together at last.
Hartnell's not going to be happy about this one. He's going to be worried about these top-rate actors. He's going to be going all myth-makers, and his aunt's going to be dying.
Yeah.
Even in 1966, Pleasance was probably quite a big name, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I haven't got anybody better. So,
Yeah,
stick with that.
End of season special. They're pushing the boats out.
Yeah.
They haven't got to build a war machine, so they can afford Donald Pleasence.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they got Shawcraft to make them a Donald Pleasence
Yeah.
out of fiberglass and sacking.
But it's absolutely massive and can barely move. You know,
Really big Donald Pleasence, yeah. Lines. Dennis Lloyd's worrying about the cost. I cannot understand how this Donald Pleasence costs 500 quid, which is about the same as a small mini. Say the memos.
Donald Pleasence mumbles in. He can't do anything except his eyes light up.
Smoking, starts emitting foam. Excellent. The Shawcraft Donald Pleasence. We only got one photo of it as well. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I'd love to build one, but there just isn't the material.
No. We need the specs.
That's the only one sketch of the Shawcraft Donald Pleasence.
Isn't there some behind the scenes film from Shawcraft?
There's
Donald Pleasence in colour.
I did find that. Of course, you get to see the Donald Pleasence in colour in that as well.
Yeah.
Good to get a reference. Who thought it was green? But there we are. Massive 6 foot tall now. More than that, 8 foot tall. Actually, the macro isn't that tall. The macro is about the size of a Dalek, height of a Dalek.
Yeah, wider.
Yeah, all the things, including the complete history. Fairly recent said this 10-foot tall prop, and I'm thinking, the bollocks is it? Look at the Shawcraft film. And the one design drawing that we have that I keep in my folder next to the Donald Pleasence one.
Polly manoeuvring herself into its claw is clearly not 10 feet tall, you can tell.
Does that happen in this? I hope Polly has to manoeuvre herself into the Donald Pleasence at some point.
This is the Doctor. Present by the High Council Time Boss. Keeper of the legacy of Rassilon. Defender of the laws of time. Protector of Gallifrey.
Okay, so they meet at night, Brock and the Donald Pleasence.
Is it Robert Jewell inside it? I bet it is, isn't it?
He's the only one that's strong enough to move it. So.
Yeah. Post, yeah.
They tried to get John Scott Martin to do it. He wasn't up to the job.
It's not my weightlifting. I could move the Donald Pleasence.
I'm sure there's a relevant Jewel inside gag there that I really can't be bothered to think through. I can't be bothered to workshop that one, but there's definitely a title.
There's a title, The Jewel Inside, but with the Robert.
Yeah.
We've repeat the titles tonight. Yeah.
There we go.
That's clever, see? That's clever, listener.
Clever.
They
really have to listen to the whole thing and pay attention to it and somehow get past all this puerile waffle about rings before they get to the joy of Donald Pleasence. But, it's all good. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Ever professional. So,
sorry, I'm just still giggling at Hartnell's ring. Swallow that down. Who'd have thunk? When we started this, we never knew where it would go. We couldn't have.
Become quite the great adventure, hasn't it?
Yeah. Innes Lloyd sat there kind of going, what have I taken on? How do I get off this program? Getting paid thousands on Batman.
No, Innes.
I've got 25p in a bloody Donald Pleasence made of sacking and fiberglass. It's green.
Somebody they go, why did you have this built? Why didn't you just cast Helen Mirren? She's available.
Yeah, they couldn't afford Donald Pleasence, so they had to make a fake one.
Yeah. It reminds me of that kind of late 70s King Kong film that Dino De Laurentiis made. Where if you read about it, he made that massive puppet.
Yeah.
This colossal puppet that's like kind of 40 feet high.
Yeah.
And then you barely see it in the film.
Yeah.
It's just a man in a suit. Because this puppet was so terrible. But he spent millions on it.
I must confess, when you said at the beginning, this reminds me of, I thought, this reminds you of something else? Nothing else like this. There's not even a time ram like this.
Go ahead, time ram.
Brock and Sim are kind of going through this company at night, and they're getting trailed. We can see
The doors will have to be really big to accommodate Pleasence.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Brock's going through this company at night, and Donald Pleasence is somewhere in the background, listening.
Foaming a bit.
Yeah. And trailing behind them are Polly, and also in the original version is Nardole. Nardole's there, so it could be Dodo. Dodo can maybe still around.
Yeah.
So Dodo was sent off to get the ring. So he somehow ended up with Polly instead. Dodo's problematic in this story.
Well, any sort of companion and any other female character in a 1960s story always end up sort of palling about together, don't they?
Yeah, true. True.
Because girls.
We could have the Doctor come in and so it's Polly and the Doctor training them. I mean, the reason they hold back the Doctor is so you've got the gag that when things get a bit nasty elsewhere, he's just there eating sort of wherever he's eating.
He's eating sushi, actually.
He's eating sushi. He pops up. He turns up eating sushi. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think
Hartnell wouldn't be eating that foreign muck. He'd be having a steak and kidney pudding.
Yeah, with sausages.
Just a plate with a steak and kidney pudding.
With the real Donald Pleasence in the bar somewhere going, I wanted to be in those Dalek films, but I couldn't do them because I was doing a bloody TV show, wasn't I? Peter bloody Cushing. Well, Donald Pleasence would go, you should see what they've fucking done to me, mate.
So before the Doctor turns up, we get this scene in their brains room. They've got a brains room.
Yeah.
Now, what a brains room is, it's a room for the brains. Just in case you're getting confused. And these brains have got eyes.
Now, I can't be the only one of us who made the natural assumption when seeing brains with eyes.
They're morpho brains, aren't they?
Yeah, it's going to be the return of the morpho brains.
Because we're going to get the Keys Marinus in the Peter Davison year or something anyway, and it'll be different, so we can totally lift the morpho brains.
Yeah. Well, that would be better. These brains look absolutely daft and bloody eyes, and they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
things have really moved on since 1964, haven't they? In terms of brain with eye realization.
So he's got some morpho brains in jars, but they're gradually increasing in number.
Yeah.
Brain on brain action.
And then some surgeons come in, and Sim just leaves. Basically, he leaves Brock to have his brain removed.
This is a terrifying scene.
This is terrifying.
Scene.
I can't imagine Hartnell doing anything quite like this.
There are morpho brains, and this gigantic. I love this scene. Sorry, the Donald Pleasence just kind of gliding away and leaving you to your fate,
rumbling away.
Yeah, occasional kind of Aussie cursing heard from inside it.
Bumps into the camera on the way out.
Absolutely bumps into the camera on the way out. Yep. Which just somehow makes it, and the camera goes on a sort of tilt like that, like Batman. This episode's beautiful. I love this one.
Are you ready to travel through time with us? Then check out Traveling the Vortex, a Doctor Who podcast. For nearly 7 years and more than 500 episodes, we've traveled from one end of the vortex to the other, making different stops with different doctors, reviewing everything from TV stories to audio plays, from books to comics, and more. Sean, Keith, and Glenn take you on a journey through 50-plus years of Doctor Who episodes and spin-off materials. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, so be sure to check us out. And now, we're a proud member of Direction Point, a Doctor Who podcast network. You're listening to Time Ram, a Direction Point podcast.
So basically, they get spotted by Sim. So they have to run.
But it's after them. Coming down the streets on location.
Yeah.
Probably in broad daylight.
This out quite a lot, probably.
Well,
this is the great bit, of course, where we know Ben's going to turn to rescue them as the ghost.
Yeah.
We can have him climbing up the building, like Batman.
Yep.
So we can fit that in.
Yeah.
Exactly the same way as well, just building on its side. And shot on Ealing, obviously.
Yeah.
So do we have a Batman style sort of guest star halfway up, kind of sticking their head out the window?
Patrick Troughton.
One of the cast of Z cars or something.
They've already said no.
Alf Garnett.
What are you climbing up my bleeding building for?
So sublime.
Who else was around?
So you're
That sort of
intercutting between the
era?
giant lumbering Donald Pleasence pursuing Polly and Alf Garnett coming out of window and haranguing Ben Man. Beautiful. While the doctor's having a meal somewhere.
Yeah.
Glorious.
And then Ben appears at the window.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jumps in.
Mhm.
And he's got his mask on. He's the ghost in
Yeah.
the original episode, at least.
Mhm.
But you can kind of clock that the doctor and the ghost kind of recognize each other.
Mhm. Can you
Yeah.
guys totally see Michael Gray's doing this?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Fit some hand in glove. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
He'd be a bit like, I think he'd be dressed a bit like Carcass, wouldn't he? And
Probably.
in the Mind
Yeah.
Proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a genuine 60s superhero spoof,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I don't really like the name The Ghost for the superhero, but
Have we got
I
anything
can't think
better?
of anything better. So.
The Sailor.
Some play on Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah. So he basically rescues them
Mhm.
with these
Yeah.
superhero powers.
Yep.
Yes.
So this being Michael Ferguson, this is going to be a kind of superimposition of weird patterns on the screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like the kind of spiral when Wotan's hypnotizing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes to superimpose spirals, does Michael Ferguson.
So you're saying that Donald Pleasence tries to hypnotize him?
I don't know what the Donald Pleasence is doing. Don't ask me to explain the Donald Pleasence.
I've got very little concept of the Donald Pleasence.
I came up with the initial design of it. That's as far as I'm going.
If they are actually taking cues from Batman, you just have him hitting the Donald Pleasence with a big pow or whatever.
Pow. Yeah.
Even the BBC can afford to do that. It's just a caption
Yes.
card.
They can indeed. Yeah, it might even be superimposed.
Yeah.
Or what they might do is one of those kind of in-camera zooms, so it kind of goes towards the camera, you know, like Hob
Yeah.
at the end of in the final episode of Quatermass.
Yeah.
Never looks very good, but hey.
So that happens. And then
Nicely summarized. I like it.
then Ben offers to
This completely incomprehensible scene happens.
Ben offers to take Polly home, or perhaps to the Inferno nightclub. I don't know. He takes her home.
Yeah. You'd want to go to a nightclub after that shit. I mean, seriously.
Yes.
Yeah. This could be the scene where Dodo phones the doctor. Actually, Dodo phones up and says, "I've been to his house. He's not in, doctor."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now he's like, "Stay right there. I'll get a cab."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he comes and joins her.
Mm-hmm.
And we get some stock footage. And then eventually Ben rocks up with Polly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the original version, Ben kind of gets in first, doesn't he? Ben gets there first, or Grant gets there first.
Yeah.
And then the doctor kind of comes down and says, "What on earth are you up to?" Because he's a superhero and he's a nanny.
Or in this case,
Lodger.
Lodger. Come Lodger.
Yeah. This time he's a lodger. Yeah. So, yeah.
Hartnell's too busy fending off Irene Handel.
Oh my God, I forgot
Trying to
handles in this.
Trying to force cups of tea on him.
Yeah. Probably get some extra scenes here, but he's waiting for him to turn up. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
There's some stuff with Irene Handel.
Comedy bits. Well, Hartnell will love this. He'll be happy about that.
Oh,
Yeah, he should
And
have
he'll
had
do it
more of
really
that sort
well.
of stuff.
Yeah.
He loved a bit of comedy.
All the companions say he loved it when comedy came along because he was really good at it. Yes, he is.
Yeah, you can see in the
Yeah.
Romans he's having a fantastic time.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's loving it.
Yeah.
And it clearly put him in a good mood as well, which is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think it's the same.
That's very shrewd of Jerry and Innes.
Yeah. It's the same in the Smugglers, isn't it? I mean, obviously it doesn't exist, but I mean, you can tell he's having a great time in the
He's
Smugglers.
having a great time.
Yeah.
I always find it a joy listening to the Smugglers, partially because of that. And it very much puts the lie to all the things. Oh, he was getting tired and he wasn't up to it at the end. Well, listen to the Smugglers then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's absolutely fine.
He's having a whale of a time there.
Yeah. I mean, he always does better in the historicals, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We get some scenes in the flat when Polly gets back with Ben.
Mm-hmm.
She's a bit surprised to see the doctor there.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
And the doctor finds some excuse to kind of get Ben to himself, where we learn that he's
rephrase maybe.
He's getting Ben to admit that he's loved Polly for quite some time. So
yeah,
he's not, is he? Hartnell's not doing that.
No. Well, yeah, in the original version, at least, Grant has loved Lucy since childhood, and she married his friend, who then, well, she married his best friend, who then ran off as soon as she got pregnant. But I guess this is going to be quite different.
Well, he's loved Polly forever, but she was in a different social class.
That's true. Yeah, Duchess.
So
Duchess?
yeah. They'll be watching Cathy come home and things like that, and going, we should make Doctor Who like this.
Yeah.
Apart from the Donald Pleasence, which doesn't really fit the whole kitchen sink drama bit, but I like it.
Sheer poetry, dear boy.
And we got this great scene where Lucy in the original version interrogates the Doctor using Mr. Huffle. Mr. Huffle feels real pain.
Yeah. Hartnell's not going to tolerate this shit for 1 second. Let's face it, he's just getting his stick out. He's annihilating Mr. Huffle.
I would quite enjoy his affronted look, though. That would.
Except it didn't really have those things in 1966, did it?
No, they didn't. No.
So what's she using instead?
A cat. I don't know.
A cat. She's abusing a cat to make it squeak at William Hartnell. Is this story not strange enough?
Muffin the Mule puppet.
An urchin. She's brought in an urchin from the street.
Maybe she just set her mother on him.
Yeah. Nice.
He set Irene on him.
Yeah. So this is a kind of three-way interrogation. It's those two against Hartnell.
Yeah.
Great. Lovely. Love it. Yeah. It's a classic scene.
See, that's another reason why Ben sort of can't really go near her, because he knows that
Irene handles her.
Irene would cripple him.
Absolutely, just destroy him completely. Yeah.
She would rip his balls off. Yeah.
That's always the impression I got from watching Metal Mickey.
Yeah.
That was a program on ITV, Baz.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Got you back.
Okay. So she gets him to admit that the brains are an independent species, and that Harmony Shoal have got this plan. They're going to replace all the world leaders by putting these morpho brains in their heads.
Yeah.
From this perspective, it kind of seems reasonable, doesn't it? I mean, it can't really be any worse.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Let's try the morpho brains.
Let's try them off. I mean, give me your alien dictatorship. I'll happily check it out.
I'll be exposed to the mesmeron. What the hell?
Yeah. Can't do any worse than the guys we've got in charge now. So
I might put a poll on Twitter. Boris Johnson or being exposed to the mesmeron.
Mesmeron wins every time.
Of course it does. Of course it. What is the mesmeron?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be better than Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
So while they're doing this, Ben's kind of going in and out and rescuing people. He keeps turning up in the background and kind of killing people from burning buildings and stuff.
This is going to be hard to do in as live production, isn't it? This is a lot of snips in the tape. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah, they wouldn't. If they did do something similar to that, they do it in a very different, perhaps more lengthy way.
Or they give him a costume where the mask covers his face completely, so it can be Edmund Warwick or a Ben-alike.
Yeah.
Okay. A Ben-alike. Yeah.
Or no, I tell you what they've done. They've pre-filmed it. Yes. There we are.
Yeah.
Job. So he's one of them in the studio and one of them on film.
He probably does it on the way back. That's why they got back before him. Is he's kind of said to her, "Look, I've got to disappear for a moment," and then he goes around the corner,
do navy things,
pulls on his batsuit or pulls off his batsuit. I don't know, one of those things.
Yes.
Yeah. Presumably, he drops her off at the flat and then disappears, and then comes back as Ben. But that's what he does in the original, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that'll be on location when he drops her off.
Yeah. And then he nips her in the back, climbs up into the building, has a conversation with the doctor, strips off, and then she comes in and finds that he's Ben.
Yeah.
Has he got a Batmobile?
No.
The Ben-mobile.
They spent all the money on Donald Pleasence. There's no Batmobile. Well, unless it's a kind of knackered old taxi or something.
Yeah, be just like an ordinary car that they've slapped like a big B on the front.
B on it, yeah.
It's like taped on.
It's like a Reliant Robin or something.
It's a bad secret identity, isn't it? Having it with the same letter as your real name.
Yes.
Not great security.
Yeah. It's part of the joke in the original thing, though, isn't it? That, she doesn't recognise him. We recognise him instantly.
Yeah.
He takes the mask on or off. It doesn't make any difference, And like any normal person would recognise him from his walk, probably.
Yeah.
But, he's meant to not clock that it's him.
The only person who recognises him is the doctor, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just shows how damn clever Doctor Who is.
Yeah, well, the Doctor kind of exists outside the superhero tropes.
He does. He's outside space and time. Yeah. He wanders in the universe.
It's got that great bit where Grant goes off and rescues some people from a fire, and he's come back and he's soaking.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "You're wet," and he says, "I prefer mild mannered."
Yep. None of which is going to even happen in this one, is it?
No.
No.
Duchess.
He could go off and be a bit tough to you. He could save someone from crossing the road badly.
Yeah.
It's a bit more British, isn't it?
It's a bit more affordable as well.
Yeah. That as well, yeah.
That's the main concern, I think. Innes is still reeling at the Pleasance, so they're looking to cut costs wherever they can.
Stop! You're out of your tiny mind.
You're out. Exactly. It's just like that.
Thank you, Doctor.
So Polly, who's no slouch, has worked out that the Doctor already knows him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's to and fro conversation. There's some quite quick dialogue, and to prevent his secret getting out, Ben agrees to meet her. He phones up, and agrees to meet her for an interview as Ben Man.
Yeah.
God,
he's thick. He shouldn't do that. That's stupid.
Yeah,
but he's going to do it. This is going to happen. Yeah.
So presumably, when he's in his superhero mode, he's like terribly well spoken.
He
ain't talking like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'd know it was him straight away.
Yeah. That must be an ability conferred by the Doctor's ring, because obviously he never does it again.
No.
What? Now wrong with that. Gift of the TARDIS.
This story is fighting us. That's
Actually,
going on.
Looking at the Doctor's ring, it's Susan's ring, isn't it? We established that.
Susan's ring. Yeah, he's got Susan's ring in him.
Yeah.
While this is going on, we also have some sort of scenes with Harmony Shoal, the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brock is now all brained up.
Yeah, all brained up.
Yeah.
He's all brained up. He's ready to go, and they're planning to steal Ben Man's body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's doing these scenes?
Superb. Well, it's Eric Klieg, George Pastel,
George Pastel,
and
the Pleasance.
And the Pleasance.
Lovely scenes. I love any scene with the massive Pleasance. It's Peter Hawkins doing the voice of the Pleasance. He must be. It's like a kind of paper mache face, sort of. Really big.
So there's a scene that while they're doing this, the Doctor's come back. He's come back to confront them.
He doesn't know what he's about to walk into.
He's got no idea.
Imagine.
And then that's the point really where they say, right, we're going to kill you then. And I guess we're probably at the end of episode 2 at this point.
End of episode 2, yeah. And it's just like the end of that episode of War Machines of episode 3, where Hartnell stands his ground as the Pleasance rumbles towards
advances on it.
Light coming out of its eyes.
Yeah.
Standing there being amazing.
So the next episode, I guess, he gets rescued somehow. It's in the TARDIS in the original version, but I guess we're not doing that. Ben Man? Maybe the Ben Man.
Probably Ben Man. What else can it be? Well, that's just Dodo. Should we give Dodo something to do? Does Dodo sacrifice her life? Does she throw herself in front of the oncoming Pleasance and die?
I think Dodo probably should recognize. Well, maybe. No, his TARDIS is in the building, isn't it? Because they left it there.
Yeah.
So Dodo says, "This way, Doc." And they nip out in the TARDIS.
They don't. It's not in the heart of the era.
Thing is, they need to get up to the spaceship somehow. There's a spaceship involved.
Ladder.
Maybe the spaceship's sitting there at some kind of homing beacon, and the Doctor can follow that, so he can steer it for him.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So most of episode 3 can be spent on this spaceship.
Right.
So they explore that for quite a while. The Doctor and Dodo. That's good.
You know how Dodo saved the Doctor here? It literally, she just turns up and goes, "Hey, this way." And he goes, "Blimey, a corridor to run down that I hadn't noticed before. Thanks, Dodo."
Oh, actually,
between episodes, this corridor's turned up. You didn't see it in the previous episode, but you can see
cliffhanger again.
Yeah.
I've just remembered we kind of didn't we say when we did Hartnell in the Empty Child, we had the thing about the nanobots repairing the TARDIS. So from that point onwards, we didn't have to worry about him not being able to pilot.
Did we really? Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Did we decide on that, or did we kind of say as a
No, that was mooted, I think. But
oh well.
It saves a lot of this kind of thing cropping up in other stories.
And to be honest, it's going to crop up a lot, isn't it? Yeah.
It is,
Yes.
Yeah. Every time we get a new series story in the Hartnell era.
Yeah. Or Troughton era.
Or anything
Or
kind of
Pertwee
post Armageddon factor, really. It's kind of,
Yeah.
once the key to time is done, the TARDIS seems to kind of work a bit.
Yeah.
I suppose it makes sense. He would work on that. That's kind of an important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets it working.
If I bought a car and the steering wheel wasn't good, I'd work on fixing it.
Yeah.
Didn't we have in this Hack of the Cybermen have him sort of popping back to Earth and nipping out and getting the next day's newspaper and not telling Ben and Barbara, Ian and Barbara about it?
I can't remember. But yeah, Hack of the Cybermen, that was a fun one. That was always fun.
It is, yeah. Because he just blatantly doesn't fit into anybody else's stories.
No, not at
So
all.
You have to really change stuff.
Not even early Troughton, really. You can't imagine him in Power of the Daleks somehow.
No.
Yeah.
He's very different, isn't he?
Yeah.
He probably has some speech somewhere about how Harmony Shoal must be stopped.
Yes. And he's going to stand against them and
yes.
somehow dare you, sirring.
Yeah. I thought I'll wait against theirs.
Yeah.
So the Doc and Dodo spend most of episode 3 up on this spaceship, I guess, crawling around, looking for clues. This is Harmony Shoal's spaceship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which it transpires they're planning to crash into the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to crash it into London. There you go.
Yeah.
They're going to crash into London. Of course they are.
Yeah.
Because that is Earth in Doctor Who.
Yeah, that is Earth. Yeah. Meanwhile, back in London, back on Earth, it's date night.
Yep.
Ben Man meets up with Polly for sort of a rooftop kind of get together.
Yeah.
And flirting happens. I've written here.
Very chaste.
Chaste flirting. Yes.
Very chaste flirting. Yeah.
Polly's wearing her best stripy jumper.
Yep.
And
Ben's got his best accent on.
Yeah.
You ever seen before that where Polly tries to go out wearing a slinky mini dress or something, and Irene handles all, "You won't go out wearing that."
Pushing her with a broom, get back into your room.
Oh, now what happens to girls who wear that sort of thing?
But he's a superhero, mother. They all say that.
This isn't the Wednesday play.
So Polly's doing this interview and they're kind of sparking off each other. And then partway through, she kind of realised that actually she quite likes Ben. He's got his sailor's uniform. He's a proper man. He's all that. He's got
all the girls love a sailor.
Yeah,
he doesn't wear tight.
He doesn't wear tights. He ain't got his pants on the outside. He's
he's got bells bottoms.
He's got bells bottoms.
Yes.
And a Cockney accent,
And a Cockney accent,
yeah.
Which she finds kind of cute in her posh way.
She likes a bit of rough.
Absolutely,
yeah. She realizes that the terribly well spoken ghost, she didn't really like that. She likes a bit of rough.
Yeah.
So she wants Ben.
Yeah. That's not what she's into. She wants someone from the other side of the tracks.
She wants to be like common people.
Yeah. She wants to do what common people do.
Yeah. She wants to sleep with common people. Common people like Ben. If Ben Man goes, I'll see what I can do.
That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
Have we got Helen in it this week yet?
Oh.
Kind of, mentioned her in passing.
You did, yeah.
There's not a lot of cast in this episode. I mean, the Hartnell version might actually have a larger cast. I suspect they try and find some other people in it to pad it out a bit. I suppose we've got Irene Handel.
You've got Irene Handel,
Yeah.
It doesn't need a large cast.
Well,
it's got enough going on. It really has.
I think we're going to have to expand things on the spaceship in episode 3. Maybe the Doctor and Dodo creeping around for quite a while.
They'll be creeping around for a while.
By zombie Harmony Shoal types.
Maybe the brains are voiced by Helen.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Up and coming actress Helen Mirren voices the Morpho Brains. Yeah,
voices the Morpho Brains. Though I can't think of them without the voice of Heron Carvick.
Maybe she's just some member of the public who does a kind of look up in the sky at one point.
Maybe she's Polly's best mate, like Kitty in the Inferno.
Yeah.
And they get together and talk about how amazing Ben Man is.
Yeah.
And then she's never seen again.
No, she's never seen again.
Well, until the next story when she turns up as another character.
Yeah.
If I didn't do it then, I'd never get to do it.
So yeah, we can probably expand that quite a lot. But...
Will it be a bit like the Space Museum, though? Will it be an episode of them walking around and going, Darko, and being covered in gas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this is kind of intercut with sort of Harmony Shoal kind of encroaching on Ben Man and sort of threatening to take his brain.
Yeah.
Maybe we have some fight scenes, you know.
Is this the Pleasence?
Kapow. Biff.
Oh, is he fighting the Pleasence?
Slap. Yeah, well, you know, I feel
Brilliant.
like if we're doing a Batman spoof, there should be a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Excellent. He's smacking a giant Donald Pleasence. Brilliant.
Yeah. Zap.
Kapow.
Cretch.
I'm trying to think of some kind of quintessentially British ones, but I can't really.
No.
Biff.
Biff, I suppose. Biff, yeah, it'd be Biff.
Yes. Akabiff. Yeah.
Just a one, because it's bad, just have one that just goes, blimey. Oh, no. A wallop. That would be British, wouldn't it? Wallop.
Nice, yeah.
Oof.
Wallop.
Yeah.
Blighty.
Yeah.
Give him a slap.
Her Majesty.
Yeah.
I love Ben Man knocking out a giant Donald Pleasence with a big caption saying Her Majesty. Great. Love this episode.
This is the 60s in the BBC. It's going to be some sort of floor manager holding it up in front of the camera on a bit.
Oh, it is. Yeah, sort of waving it around and so on, superimposing it on. Yeah, and the camera guy wobbling, zooming in towards it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
This is quality television.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, up in the spaceship, things are coming to a bit of a climax. They realise that the spaceship's been turned into a bomb to wipe out a whole city.
Oh.
And the panic will bring all the world leaders to Harmony Shoal, where they will get their brains replaced.
Hartnell's being great at doing this, but isn't he? He's getting proper into it and angry, and you know, they must be stopped.
Yeah. So they take a video call from Dr. Sim. He says, "You can't stop us. We'll bring the ship
Take a
down."
video call from the Pleasance.
Yeah.
Talk like Wotan. You cannot stop us. When it's like jaw going.
Stop
Door. Cool.
So the Doctor decides to bring the ship down early, which has got to be our episode cliffhanger. It's got to be.
That's going to be those controls from the sensorites. I'll tell you, it's going to be those levers.
Mm-hmm. So we're in
That's a
there.
good cliffhanger. That's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Not much plot left, but it's a good cliffhanger. Yeah, it's kind of...
Yeah.
So they're crashing, and then down on the ground, there's some argy-bargy. Ben leaves, kind of leaves Polly to get brain napped or whatever, and then turns up again as himself.
Yeah. So hang on, I thought the Pleasance was menacing them. Did it just gotta go? Just hang on a minute, and we'll fuck off to make a video call to the
Brock's
Doctor.
menacing them. Brock's menacing them.
He's not as menacing. I mean, wouldn't you have Eric Clee going and making the video call and leave the massive monster Pleasance to molest Ben and Polly?
Just trying to imagine the monster Pleasance getting a cab to get there. You know, it's kind of. I suppose he could lumber up to the building.
Yeah.
They're running through the streets for him. This is probably a bit more.
He's going to pause and kill a tramp or something.
Yeah. He's going to kill a tramp with his big
to demonstrate his
club hand. This is turning into the war.
Just a blast of CO2 from his mouth, nose, God.
They're going, bloody hell.
Crotch.
Oh, blimey. This is a bit difficult because, what happens in the story is in the story, the Doctor calls Grant on his phone. He can communicate with his ring. The ring is talking.
His ring, he can just speak through. So basically, like Hartnell's voice comes out of his gut.
He speaks through his ring. Yeah.
Look on the bright side. I picked his gut. It'll be much, much worse. May yet be.
Anyway, so I mean, I guess the point of the final scene is to get Ben to reveal his secret identity.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the only one that can stop the spearship with his mighty fist.
Yep.
Mighty fist of Ben.
Yeah.
Which he eventually does.
Yep. This is going to be an interestingly shot scene.
Yes.
Possibly a little bit beyond.
Not quite sure how they do this in the 60s. Yeah.
You know,
I was thinking maybe instead of having him actually like physically holding it, as he does in the TV thing, which is not at all ripping off Superman, but
and not at all doable in 1966.
Yeah.
No.
I think what he would do is he'd have some kind of zap, some kind of force coming from his hand. That goes,
is it like the Force, basically? He has to kind of concentrate really hard.
Yeah, and that stops the spaceship.
Maybe he does something with the post office tower, and he can kind of beam out, zap out messages that kind of slows it down, and it materializes.
Is the spaceship deflected by a massive thing going, Her Majesty?
I'm going to say yes.
Excellent.
Does the Doctor actually need this gem, this ring, after the end of this?
After it's been through Ben,
better.
Yeah,
he's going to want it back. He still wants his ring.
I was just thinking
that all this just to get his ring. That's
if he doesn't need it, a better way of doing it story-wise, because obviously we've got to.
Oh, he gets him to pass the ring.
Is his whole kind of stopping the spaceship thing uses up all his powers. So he uses up all the power of the ring. Yeah. So after he's done that, he's
harmlessly through his body.
Yeah. He's spent. He's tired and shagged out after a long squawk, and has no special powers anymore.
Blimey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that works. That's he uses all his power to get rid of this spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Polly goes, "You're Ben."
Yeah, she does.
Blimey, I've also lost the power to speak in a posh voice.
What a life, eh, Duchess? First time he calls her Duchess.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
What the hell's happening to and then the Pleasence turns up and crushes them, I don't know.
Yeah.
Attack.
Maybe he gets beamed out with the spaceship. They all get beamed out. The Doctor and Dodo escape somehow.
Well, TARDIS is up there, isn't it?
Yeah. They hit the fast return switch and somehow get off the spaceship.
They hit the fast return switch. She puts the spring back in first this time.
Yeah. And then they're back. Yeah. And then it's resolved.
Yeah.
Inexpensively resolved.
Yeah.
After all that, we finish it by, and it's resolved. Good night. I honestly think listener deserves some reward for getting through this.
And Dodo marries the Pleasence. That's where she goes.
Dodo goes off with the Pleasence. Oh, he needs looking after, Doctor. He doesn't really fit in with this world. Donald loved Dodo. That's a valid ending. Yeah, that gives us a well, Dodo and the massive Donald Pleasence did the fiberglass and sacking forever after.
It's nice to say Dodo having a happy ending.
It is, isn't it?
We do need a sort of lengthy coda where we get rid of Dodo, so maybe she decides something. But yeah,
what do you think that was?
Fair enough.
You got anything better than Dodo being married off to a giant fiberglass Donald Pleasence? I don't think so. I do not think so, Mr. Williams.
You could have a photo montage, chase-style photo montage of Dodo and the giant Donald Pleasence having fun.
The holidays in front of the Eiffel Tower. And
sitting a police box and going, could it be? Because my present marriage situation isn't weird enough. I'm freaked out by a police box that could be the cars. Christ, didn't know where this one was going to go. Not what I thought would happen.
How about Time Ram? Time Ram? You couldn't do it in that old crock. Wolf, Time Ram. Londoners.
We do have one more scene. Well, maybe a couple more scenes, but there's a scene. There's a scene at the flat. Irene Handel's feeding them all up,
Yeah. Especially Hartnell, you get special dollops.
Yes.
Special dollops at Hartnell.
Everyone loves Irene Handel's special dollops.
And Ben explains that he's lost his powers.
Yeah.
And
a Dodo and her boyfriend there.
maybe they turn up and say bye.
Can he fit in the flat?
Yeah, he's outside.
Depends how massive he is.
Just run with him.
It doesn't matter. It's a set. They just wheeled it in from the studio. It's good.
That's it. And then the Doctor goes to the TARDIS, and the last minute Ben goes, Chess, he's left his ring. And they have to chase
yes.
Because he's so absent-minded. The thing he's been obsessed with all the way through this, he just bimbled off and forgot about it.
Is that actually Ben comes back? Ben comes back from the toilet and goes, "He's left his ring."
So like the scene from Pulp Fiction where he comes back from the toilet and he's both got two guns on him. Is it a bit like that? Is it?
Yeah, it's exactly like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Doctor Who frequently is, I find.
Yeah, we get Bruce Willis in this. It'll be fine.
Imagine the Walter Doctor. Don't imagine it. We're broken enough by the events of the last couple of hours anyway. Let's not go there.
Yeah, no.
We'll save that for another time.
I've lost hope in this making any sense. But yeah, I guess we kind of segue into them drawing him in the TARDIS anyway, and he basically kidnaps them. So
because the door's locked and so on, but because Doctor's going to slip away quietly, but Ben refracts the sun with the ring and like in the master plan magically.
Yeah.
And they go inside.
Explainment.
Well, that was brilliant. That's a fantastic story.
Yeah.
I love that. Obviously, vastly better than the original. Quite like the original, but it doesn't have a Donald Pleasence.
Yeah. It's a great episode. I really enjoyed it when I watched it again. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't think much of it the first time round, and I think watching it again was possibly only the second time I've ever watched it. And I really liked it this time. I think that what it is with the Christmas episodes, I don't know if I said this before when we did one, is that you have a kind of expectation of them. You're kind of sitting there thinking, right, fucking entertain me. And unless they're amazing, you come away from it thinking, well, that wasn't very good. But then when you watch them again and it's not Christmas, you just think, actually, that was all right.
The Feast of Stephen effect, we call it. Yeah.
It's without the pressure of it being the new episode. It's
Well, all in all, do we think it's better or worse than the Capaldi?
I'm not going to go better, to be honest.
I think it'd be interesting.
I'm all over it.
I'd say on a par.
It's kind of like you mashed up the War Machines and the Mind Robber.
Yeah.
With Batman.
So to be fair, there was a lot less Batman in it than we probably initially.
There was a lot less Batman. There was a lot less Batman. It did kind of go off into areas, yes.
Areas, yeah.
Yes.
Morpho brains and such like. Love the Morpho brains, obviously.
Yeah.
To see them turn up in it.
I think with 4 episodes to play with, you probably could get a bit more Batman stuff in there. But he doesn't have an assistant or anything like that. It's not very Batman, is it? It's a more situation.
And the storyline doesn't really lend itself in the it's not a Batman story. So we've only got presentation. But they've only just seen it. They've only just seen advanced copies and thought, oh, that's the next big thing in the States. We better mimic that.
Yeah, we'll do something vaguely similar.
A few title caption cards going Pow and Biff and Her Majesty.
Yes. The funny thing is, although it's not
expensive.
Although it's not at all the sort of thing they would have done on television, you can kind of imagine this story in TV comic.
Yeah.
Yes, where one week the Doctor meets Father Christmas, and the next week it's
Yeah.
You
can imagine him kind of meeting a superhero.
John and Gillian going gosh an awful lot.
Yeah.
Neville Main artwork.
You know what? I'd read that. That sounds great, actually.
Yeah. But we don't have to because we can watch it because the whole story exists.
Yeah.
All
4 episodes.
Copies were found in Africa.
Yeah.
Episode 3 is a bit of a dodgy print, but at least we've got it.
Yeah.
And apparently there's some of the really scary bits of the Pleasence snipped out that we still haven't got, but there's a couple of telly snaps of them, so it's not all gone.
Of his scary bits. All right, okay.
Yeah, the really, yeah. When he starts foaming,
Oh, okay, yeah. You have to mosaic that bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got the soundtrack, obviously. It's great. It's the sound of Donald Pleasence foaming. You know it.
I hesitate to say this, but marks out of 10?
9.5 for me.
So give it about a 7. I think you seem to say 7 a lot, but I'm going to say 7 again.
I'll say 8. That's pure entertainment factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's pretty high AI, isn't it?
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Good. Oh, well, I better get the random number generator up, hadn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, should have done that beforehand. Sorry, I'm still reveling in the joys of this story. So, our story is 228.
228.
We're modern again.
We are.
228 is A Town Called Mercy.
A Town Called Mercy. Starring. I'll have him because it's Dr. 11. So I'll go again. 8. Paul McGann.
Yes.
Okay.
I can totally see that.
That would work.
Yes.
Excellent.
This is a proper if it went to series in America one, isn't it?
Yes, this is what they'd actually do.
If the TV movie kicked off as
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
Yes.
Right. Well,
I'm glad we've got a sort of a canon McGann now.
Yes, we've done McGann before, but in our pilot episode, which we officially released, though it is on the Patreon site.
Indeed. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that episode. No other podcast comes up with stuff like that, does it? I mean, let's face it, listener. You know what you're getting from Time Ram. Well, sometimes you don't know what you're getting. We haven't got a clue. Join us next time for Paul McGann in A Town Called Mercy. You've been listening to yet another episode of Time Ram. God knows why, but we love you for it. Thank you to Ben Jones for doing our music. You can find us on Twitter at #TimeRam, that's the search term, and individually we are at BarsTimeRam, at Rupert Booth, and at PaulFerry8. We're also on Facebook and apparently on Patreon. And another way to support the show is to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your podcast from. Made under circumstances.
Direction point! Direction point!
A Doctor Who podcast network.